I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, and my sister, Maddie, who before starting her own adventure, joined us in rocking out a state-of-the-art refit on our floating home. Now, we're ready to set sail to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
So we're on day 4 of the rehabilitation project on this Leopard 50. Day 1, we massed off the floor underneath because as we bridge deck supported everything, the holes were completely free hanging, which is awesome, so we can get in there and work. And we masked everything off. Day 2, I cut all of this excess out and we dropped this hull side. Day 3, we cut and dropped the damage on the port hull. And today is day 4. So the excess plywood that we've got from this 4 foot by 10 foot layup table that we're gonna do for all of our wet layups, I'm gonna make an actual mixing station. So this is where all of our chemicals, resins, hardeners, all that will actually take care of here. So we've masked off the floor to protect, so obviously we can clean up after ourselves. All right, so we're gonna get all of our mixing stations set up. So we're gonna take all these bungs out and put our big rotary pump in. A bucket of resin is over $3,000. With a pump from Amazon. Alright. Put this over here. This turns.
Should you be turning that without something to pour into? I'm being serious.
Probably not. Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Kachuga. Kachuga. Kachuga.
It's so hard to see it because it's like clear liquid.
Can you feel it going in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy. There you go. Sorry.
You just put that directly in front of where I'm filming. That's a lot. It goes fast.
I don't want your help.
This is really boring, Sydney.
The foam for our mold is finally here. After extensive conversations with the factory, Dad decided he wanted to make a mold of the bottom of the boat with measurements that South Africa provided us.
Are you taking all of them out? No?
So this is the step.
Oh, that's a lot of white. I can't step in it because it's fragile.
There, you can see that. Finger in there. There's the step.
So we'll taper from this edge to here with a hot knife. Sand it smooth.
Okay.
Ferret, wax it, fiberglass it.
Glass it, ferret, sand it, wax it, make parts out of it, destroy it.
And just
It's gonna happen.
that is nifty. So exciting! All 27 parts.
We know this has been highly anticipated. We decided to buy brand new engines and generator. Again, the original ones are completely salvageable, but we didn't want to deal with the potential of not being able to get parts.
right, it is day 6. You can tell because the shirt changed. And we are just finishing cleaning the boat. I'm still waiting on a couple materials to show up, so unfortunately we didn't get to start making the mold today. But I am making a specialized distance foam cutter. This is the mold that showed up, and in between these sections we've got 1 foot slices, and only one side of the slice actually is the correct dimension of the boat. But good thing is the next slice is the one side that has the correct dimension as well. So we have this nifty little tool that I'm building that's going to allow us to slice off the step and create a smooth inside hull, which I'll show you here in the next couple days. In the meantime, I think the fiberglass is going to be here in a couple days. We're going to get the mold put together hopefully tomorrow, and yeah, that's pretty much it. More cleaning. It's not terribly glamorous today. It's just cleaning and tool making. So there you go. That's gonna do it. Get some better wire connections so that we're able to get more voltage through there, and we'll put a bigger wire on it tonight because it's supposed to be here from Amazon. Thank goodness Jeff Bezos can send me that. Yeah. Perfect. You sure you're ready?
I am super ready.
Okay. All right, we are on day 7, and we're actually going to start working on the mold today. So we are going to use our new cutter that I built yesterday and start cutting the tapers and the slopes inside of all these 12-inch slices. So we're just going to take that registration point, which is always going to be on the inside. We're going to cut either the waste off or add a slice back in again so we get a nice, smooth, consistent hole shape. And then once that's done, we'll be able to lay glass in today. We also were able to take this first mold and basically slide it up and down the hull till we found the actual registration point, because it's kind of hard to measure a curved surface. So now we know exactly where our 26 foot is on our 27 foot mold, and we'll be able to back engineer from there and know exactly where we need to start and stop the repair. So there you go. That's what we're doing today, day 7. Let's go. Don't break it.
I'm not breaking it. While the foam is being shaped, Maddie was taking off the factory stickers off the side of the boat. We are drilling holes in the foam blocks because we are going to put rope through them to tension the blocks together instead of gluing them.
Alright guys, so today is day 8, and we got our engines and generator delivered over here to building 200 that we're in. And we have our foam all mocked up from last night, and this morning we post-tensioned everything together, which means we just drilled all those holes and ran a rope through. And then we just basically spun the rope until it created more and more tension to pull the blocks together. So today we are going to sand that mold out, get it prepped for glass, lay the glass in the PO ply in so that tomorrow when we come in we can ferret and get it ready to make parts to fix the boat. Before that, I'm gonna crack open this box real quick here on the generator, make sure that all of our parts showed up. And yeah, we're heading to the weekend strong. So here we go. Ooh, she's so pretty.
It's like Christmas.
Look at that. Oh, oh, oh. we got brand new everything, including fancy new start panel. Apparently we've already used it for 1.3 hours.
What?
All right, next week we'll open the sail drives up. I'm gonna keep them all wrapped up just to keep everything nice and tidy. We'll open those up before we put, before we take the old engines out. We're just gonna do a straight swap over on all of this. All of the components except for, of course, the battery are pretty much well situated as far as filters, pumps, all of that stuff. So we'll pull the old engine out, disconnect the sail drive, and drop the new engine right in. It should just be a bolt up to the exhaust elbows and all of that. So hopefully that goes pretty well. We did get new engine harnesses, in case anybody was wondering, and I got bigger control panel because I wanted the large control panel similar to this that had oil readout and what have you on it. So we're gonna modify the helm station to accept those as well. So exciting stuff here at Dauntless. So let's see what comes next. That's really stupid, don't use that. I'm cutting off cardboard from our generator. So I have something to kneel on so my fat butt doesn't dent our foam mold. So the real reason I wanted to open it is so I could get this cardboard piece.
Very thick.
It's got maximum fat guy weight spreadability. Yeah, that'll work.
Let the sanding begin. We need to make sure that we smooth out all the lumps and bumps so that it comes together as one continuous shape.
The keel stub, we're gonna either cut off some of it or we're gonna add in to it later. The hull has such a gradual radius that we're actually able to do 1 foot steps and then be able to do one single taper cut and then just be able to sand off any ridges to make that a nice smooth shape to match the hull. Problem with the keel step is that it's a tight turn, and the keel not only angles like this, but it also angles like this, and it's this 3-dimensional curve. So we can't replicate that with a 2D cut. So what I've done is I had the foam company not only cut the hull, but in the waist where I'm standing, they actually cut out the sections of this keel to actual depth, a little bit oversized. So I'll be able to glue those together and then take the sacrificial keels that we get from Leopard and line them up, and then I'll be able to fill in the gaps to create the mold for the intermediary piece. Leopard 50s don't have a sacrificial keel that bolts to the hull like the 46 that's behind you. If you want to show everybody what that looks like, there's actual 6 bolts that the sacrificial keel comes up and then just bolted through. They changed this model, and there's an actual articulated different keel stub, if you will, that's about 16 inches that comes off the bottom of the boat. That's integral to the hull. That's what got torn off of our boat. So I have to recreate that part, but I can do the hull, and I can order the custom molded sacrificial keel, but I can't make the middle piece without the top and the bottom. So we'll make the hull and get her in the water, and then when we have that other piece, we'll make the fill-in piece. So there you go. Sorry about the long-winded description.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
Here she is. Look how beautiful it turned out.
Day 8.
9.
Day 9. So today we are going to glass the inside of the mold, and I am currently just going through on some heavy low spots that I nicked and just throwing a little bit of Cabicil in as a back filler. I'm going to smooth out the shape inside where the keel step is going to go, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Alternators come off today, and the mold gets glassed, and then we're going to take a day off. So that's the plan. Well, I don't think the whole internet world needs to know this. This is a 3.5 to 1 mix ratio.
After mixing epoxy, we first cleaned our tools. Then we were ready to start laying fiberglass in the mold to give it some structure and rigidity. Okay, you already saw that today's day 9, but yesterday we didn't do much of any filming, but some exciting things happened. Dad finished trimming out the keel step and sanded out all of the mold so that we could lay glass in it today. And then also our massive pallet of quad axe glass came yesterday as well. So, very exciting things happening, and they're working on putting glass in the mold while I finish a video. Super fun. Fiberglass support done.
All right, guys, it's day 10, and today is a super exciting day because we're going to peel all the peel ply off of the layer of 7-ounce glass that we put inside of the mold. This is going to be the base layer of our repair. After we get this peeled today, I'm going to sand off any of the spots that the peel ply didn't touch, and we'll show you that here in a second. It leaves a glossy spot if the peel ply doesn't completely contact the surface. The purpose of the peel ply is that when you peel it off, you get a nice textured surface that accepts the next layer of whatever building material that you're going to put on it without having to grind that entire mold and sand it out. Once we get that done, we're going to break it loose from the floor because apparently it was so hot that some of the epoxy dripped down between the pieces and stuck to the floor. So that's going to have to be a little cleanup that we're going to need to do. But yeah, so we're going to do that today, get all this stripped out, get any glossy spots sanded down, and I'm going to fair the entire inside of this mold and smooth everything out, and we're going to let it sit for maybe the afternoon, but probably tomorrow morning, where we can come back and sand it again and see if we have to do a second round of fairing. If not, we'll wax it and make the mold, and yeah, here we go. Exciting stuff is finally happening. 2, 3. Follow me.
He's going, no, he's going 1, 2, 3.
And then he's like, ready?
Go. 3. Ah!
We cleaned up our mess and then sanded off all the shiny spots. Not gonna lie, that's super boring, so let's just get to the fairing. We're using a Lexial fairing compound.
And this is the same fairing compound that we used on Dauntless.
Yep. You just mix it all up until you don't get any more brown or white streaking.
And Ty has decided to revive his construction days and use a drywall knife and a drywall mud trough.
Mud pan. I like this product better than All Fair because it's got a little bit more body to it. All Fair is really great if you're trying to do like a real light blending, but if you're trying to do any sort of a heavier fill, this just tends to stand up a little bit more and doesn't sag or and fills deeper cavities just quite a bit better. So do it this way so my wrists don't get hurt holding out a big board with my thumb.
Like a painter.
Like a painter. And I'm going to start here. And what's up?
Tell me about your fairing process here.
Well, I didn't figure this was going to take as much fairing as it did. We used almost 2.5 gallons of fairing, and that's like $600. We have enough left to sand this down tomorrow and do one more skim coat, and I believe that will be all the fairing we need for the actual mold. The smoother we make the mold, the less fairing we have to do on the boat. So we're going to use it one way or another. Hopefully, we'll just use more of it here. But it's gone really, really well. Ground out all of the air pockets on some of the glass that didn't lay down. Laying glass on foam isn't the easiest thing to do, but it worked out pretty well. And yeah, one more solid day down with, I think, all of our goals achieved.
Today is day 11, and we are sanding the first layer of fairing that we put on the mold and getting it prepped for a second layer of fairing.
Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video.
What are you guys doing? We're wrapping Maddie because she's got on decent shorts and we don't want her to get fairing on them. So we're shrink wrapping her.
We didn't get enough.
That covers your front. So day 12, we are doing a reinforcement on the bottom side of the foam structure so that it will be rigid and sturdy and will keep its shape, and also elevate it off the ground so that we can get the floor jacks underneath of it, and we'll be able to actually lift the mold up into place underneath the boat so that we can get in there and scribe a line exactly where we need to make our mold pieces. So that's what we're working on now. Finishing up day 12, and I'm gonna go home and shower and eat because, well, we're hungry. All right, Alex, tell me about how you feel about today.
Well, I'm itchy, but I worked with fiberglass and resin for the first time in my life, and I think it went pretty well. Missed a couple spots that Ty had to coach me up on, but overall we did it in maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, the whole mold, and feel pretty good. So
Productive day, yeah?
very productive.
Good job. Wash up.
While we flip the mold over, I'll tell you that's all we did with it today. We used the rest of the day to prep the engines to be pulled out, but that's for another video.
This weighs more than that, so it's strictly a volumetric measurement. It is not a weight measurement.
That's what I was worried about the other day. Okay.
We're absolutely correct, Kim.
Did you get that on camera? I was absolutely correct. That happened.
There's proof now.
Documented proof. So today, we were gonna pull the engines and the generator first thing this morning, but the yard needed to readjust their crew a bit, and so we're gonna hold off and do that this afternoon. Today is day 14. We are still planning on taking those things out of the boat, which is super exciting. But in the meantime, while we wait for the yard to kind of get their poop in a group, we are gonna go back to fairing because our buckets came in finally, so we can continue fairing. So Ty, what do you think? One more round of fairing?
I think that I've got to, our second round of fairing, we only got 1/3 of the way through. So I've got to do coat 2 on 2/3 of the mold. And then I think I need to sand that and one real light hit in the next couple days.
And then the mold will be ready to do moldy kinds of things.
We'll be able to do waxy, moldy, releasey stuff.
Can we just acknowledge how satisfying mixing fairing is? If you'd like a more in-depth explanation, head over to Patreon and check out our 1/12 scale model of the project.
All right, so I've been trying to sand the bottom of this keel step. This is just the stub keel that I'm going to put in, not the full step keel, so I could use the full depth of the mold, so we could have more material to work with to be able to create our repair. So in the process of doing that, I just made the keel step this deep, instead of 16 inches deep. And I've been having a hell of a time trying to get a nice smooth bottom layer, and that is going to be the sticky wicket that keeps this part from popping out of the mold. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually mixed up some resin, just plain resin, and I'm going to pour it in the bottom of the mold, kind of like you do an epoxy countertop, like a leveling compound, so that can flow over all of the inconsistencies, and we get a nice smooth surface to be able to wax and pop it out. So I'm hoping that works. The whole mold is nice and smooth. I'm really happy with the shape. So one final little sand for an hour or two, and I think we're gonna be ready to wax and start making parts. But I gotta get the bottom and the keel step fixed first. So I just faired this a little while ago, and this is starting to set up. Let's see if I can stay between the sections. Probably better to keep my feet out of there.
Yeah, that would suck.
This laminating resin is really thin, so it flows really easy. And when epoxy, of course, cures, it's almost like glass smooth. So it'll be easy to wax. Shit, it might not be a bad idea just to paint the whole thing after I sand it. It'll be a nice, non-porous, smooth surface that we can wax.
And that's exactly what we did. Join us next week as we switch gears and head up to the top side of the boat while we wait for our vacuum bagging materials to arrive.